it's all the more important to set goals going into the new year, because if we don't, it's like going into a tunnel without a torch. We want to come out at the end of 2021 feeling like we were in control. We took control of the year, screw the pandemic, and we still managed to become the best versions of ourselves. Hey guys, welcome back and thank you so much for joining in for a new episode here on my channel. It's been a while, I must say, I've really missed you guys, but I just decided that as soon as vacation hit, after the year that we've had, I just felt that I needed to take that time to just spend quality time with myself, with my husband, and with my family. We're also down here in Cape Town, where we haven't been able to see our family for the most of this year, so I just decided to take that time. That said, I am back and I am so excited for today's episode, which is going to be a first part of a 3-part series to help us set our goals and set us up for success to achieve these goals in the new year. If you haven't done so already and you're new around here, then I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. This just really helps YouTube to get this content out to similar people like yourself and just really helps my channel. Also, if you enjoy this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and to add any comments down below. The first thing that I think we need to do and is really important is for us to just take a step back and reflect on and acknowledge all of the things that went well and that we actually achieved in 2020. And the reason being is that it's been an incredibly difficult year, and if you, like myself, by the end of the year, we're just feeling really heavy and really defeated almost by the situation. It is so important to acknowledge that there were things that went right. There were perhaps new habits that you put in place to help you cope that you may want to keep going forward into the new year. The next thing we want to do is decide on a theme to guide the new year. I have found this step to be so helpful because starting a new year is like starting the next chapter. It's like getting a new clean slate to start off from, with all these opportunities and all these new things that after getting some time to rest, we feel all excited, and just motivated to achieve. And I think that there's so many things that we could do that we end up setting unrealistic goals, and just goals that are not true to us, and goals that we never really wanted to achieve to begin with. So setting a theme just helps us to focus on the areas that we really want to be working on, that will help us, that will be true to us and true to our dream that we want to achieve at the end of the day. I often found in the past that I would end up setting goals that I thought I should be setting because of things that I had come across in the media, things that I was seeing on the TV, things that I was maybe seeing, my friends do or my colleagues do. But those were not necessarily goals that really spoke to myself. For example, veganism came out, and then all of a sudden I was thinking maybe I should set, a goal for myself to become a vegan in the new year, which just was not being true to me at all, because that's just not important. And so that goal didn't really go anywhere and kind of fell flat pretty early. Then the last step, and this is the ultimate goal for this episode, is to actually go about and brainstorm the goals that we would like to achieve. How you would like to go about doing this is up to you, of course. I usually like to just use my laptop because I use OneNote. I love it. I can then access this at any point in time, have it quickly available for me to reflect on my goals. And I usually do this on a quarterly basis. Each year I'll reflect on my goals and see where I'm at with each of them. So I find that this is quite easy to access, but if you are a little bit more old school, or you just like the good old paperback, then of course you can just use your journal. Now, I like to think of these in 4 categories or quartiles or elements, as you would like to call it. And the first one being career, the second one being marriage and family, the third one being wellness, so in other words, mind and spirit or spirituality, and the last area being health and fitness. And the reason why I like to break it up into these 4 categories, I realized that I needed a bit of a balance across these 4 areas in order for me to feel happy. At the end of the day, I can focus all of my effort on career and achieving goals in that space, but it's not going to make me feel fulfilled at the end of the day. I could work my butt off, and one day I end up getting all these ailments because I haven't taken care of my health, and then my quality of life is not going to be as high as what it would have been. So what's the point of having money if you're sick and you can't enjoy it? So I think it's incredibly important to not forget about the other spheres of our life where we should also be setting goals and actively working on all the time. Now, if we take a look at my screen over here, as I mentioned, I've got these 4 areas that I like to focus on, and I usually set about 2 to 3 goals for each of these. And this again will be guided by the theme that I have chosen for this, for the year to focus on. I think 2 to 3 is a sweet spot because we can't have too many goals and then you end up just not knowing where to focus and then just not achieving any of them. But what is also super important is to acknowledge new habits that you may have set in place as you were working towards specific goals last year or this year that you would like to continue versus those that you want to start. So under wellness, for example, I would like to continue journaling and meditating every morning, which this was a new routine and habit that I instilled this year. I posted about it in, I think it was my 2nd or 3rd episode, which I will link if you haven't taken a look at that. But that was my new routine that I put in place. That was a goal that I had, and I'd like to continue that because it's just had so many benefits for me. Then I've got another 2 goals here that are new, which I would like to start. So I'd love to start waking up at 5 a.m. during the week. I've just read 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, absolutely amazing. Last one is I'd love to start incorporating visualization into my journaling because this is a really powerful tool that I have come across. Okay, so just to summarize what we want to be doing for setting our goals for 2021, we firstly want to start with reflecting on how 2020 went, give ourselves a pat on the back, and acknowledge what went well. We then want to choose a theme for the year. Personally, my theme is all going to be about elevating my life. This year was all about achieving balance, and I think I did quite well to do that, and now I just want to take it to the next step. And then the 3rd step is to actually go about brainstorming our goals. And I would really encourage you to be specific in the goals that you set, and don't set goals that are too vague where you don't even understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. Secondly, you want to make sure that the goals are realistic in the number of goals that you are setting. But you also want them to be realistic in terms of whether they are actually achievable for you. Any specific goal, individual goal that you put on that page needs to be something that is actually achievable. And lastly, but most importantly, are all of your goals on that page true to you, true to what you want, and not guided by what you might have come across in the media or some new fad that you've come across that you have subconsciously been influenced by. So always bring it back to the center of what it is that you want to achieve at the end of the day. And that's what I would really encourage you to focus on. Thank you so much for joining in today. I had so much fun. Just as a reminder, keep a lookout for my next episode in which we are going to actually come up with a plan on how to achieve each of our goals, which is where we tend to fall flat. We just set them, go into the new year and hope for the best. But this year, we're actually going to make sure that we achieve everything that we've set out to do today.